Because of the war that we fought, it brought many setbacks.
I was afraid to die from bullet and hunger.
Most of us were not going to school.
Most of the trained teachers in the country were veterans of the war.
We took significant hits in recent times because of the Ebola crisis. Our best and brightest Liberian left the country during that time.
During Ebola, you have to remember that we went almost a year without schooling.
The nation is suffering. We are struggling to be better.
The country is lacking of education.
There's a need that I establish school in my community.
What we experienced during the war, a lot of that was because we had a lot of people who were illiterate, a lot of people that did not have the knowledge, and we don't want to go back to that.
Because when people are educated, they tend to get a broader mind of becoming beautiful.
Because we want to make sure that their future is better than the reality we live now.
I want some of them to become a doctor, some of them to become a minister.
When my son grew up, because sometimes I ask him, what you want to be when you grow up? He said he want to become a medical doctor. So I'm fighting towards that, for him to achieve that goal.
In some classrooms, there was purely abandonment. You could see livestock in the classrooms.
Our idea was to bring education back to a sense of normalcy after the Ebola crisis. Getting students back used to going to classrooms, getting families and community people back used to seeing children in their uniforms going to school, so we can get back to a normal society.
So the first thing I did was take a tour, and our purpose was just to listen. I took a notebook and I saw firsthand, this is just after Ebola, by the way, how the school infrastructure was not good enough. I can't look in the face of the young girl who's sitting there without a teacher and then ask her to wait for 5 years. No, education cannot wait. We concluded that we needed a comprehensive assessment, analysis of the entire education sector, which led to an education sector plan, which we call Getting to Best. In the wake of Ebola, we didn't want to just restore what was. We wanted something entirely different that would represent safety for students in the learning environment. We wanted teachers to show up and to be qualified to teach. We wanted extended instruction time. We wanted a radical approach, which brought about the public-private partnership. So we vetted several providers. Now there are 8 providers. Those 8 providers are managing 93 schools. They're managing the schools, government providing policy and regulation, and being the guarantor of free compulsory education. And that is the place of PSL, a catalyst to show the way to the future, where children can learn in a faster way as opposed to the traditional.
When I first visited this school, it was deplorable.
But when the PSL came, it had become better. Teachers are on time, teachers plan their lessons, teachers go by the curriculum, because we were trained to go to the curriculum before you make your lesson plans. So out of those things, it keeps us on track.
The PSL program is free.
Our children going to school free, they eating free, they getting capable free.
Now you have parents able to send their children for the first time to school.
At the time I was coming on, I didn't have that opportunity to go far. But now my children are having the opportunity to go beyond my study.
The education system attack class because of war Ebola. But all we never gave, but yeah, we're working hard to face it.
I got one in the beginning that she's 4 years, but she can write. And I am so surprised to see 4 years old child writing.
My children, I know, are learning faster.
Before the intervention of PSL, students could hardly read and write. They could hardly solve a simple addition problem. Now with the intervention of PSL, you see students are solving addition, subtraction, and multiplication problems.
It has been tested out in 93 schools, and we're finding this is actually working.
One of the big strengths of PSL is that there are multiple partners, and so we can all learn from and share resources and best practices with each other.
The lessons learned from PSL must be used to correct the rest of the systems. How do you get teachers to stay for 8 hours? How do you get students not to just be enrolled, but to stay and graduate? All these lessons are coming from PSL, and we now need to cascade them to the rest of the system.
Education is the key to success. Education is a process of learning.
It's actually not about the books, it's not about the desks, although those things create a condition that allow schools to really flourish. At the end of the day, it's the quality of the teacher.
Because the teacher is one of the main ingredients in getting our education sector to the next level.
Sometimes there was a ratio of a teacher to 80 students in the classroom, and there were many teachers not showing up despite the fact that they were on government payroll.
We found there were a lot of ghosts on our payroll.
So as we started to remove the ghosts, we found space. We were placing brand new graduates into the system.
We now have several schools in Liberia where there's a teacher to every classroom.
When I entered here 2014, there were only 2 teachers.
Now we get 9 teachers, all of them on payroll.
The teachers have been our biggest advocate and supporter of the vetting exercise, and they've encouraged us to remove ghosts off of the system so they can bring some dignity and pride back to the profession.
And they employ you, they make you feel happy to work.
They taught us how to manage the classroom, how to do lesson planning, how to evaluate student testing and evaluation.
After the lesson, they invite the teachers and they give feedback to the teacher.
It's building our capacity. So we got to give it out to the next generation. Tomorrow we all be a good people.
Yeah, I want to become a civil engineer to electrify people, town, and cities.
I want to become a gospel musician when I grow up because I love music. I want to be enough for me to help our brother and sister.
Liberians are very resilient, so they get up, they dust themselves off, and they keep on moving. And for them to continue to move, we have to ensure that we have top-notch education for these kids.
We all need to work together to build a good educational system.
Let's put aside our political differences, our social differences, whatever, our ideological differences, and just for this, only for this time, try to make sure that Mama Liberia benefits from this innovative approach.
So we want to help and support the next administration to be able to achieve at the highest level and deliver on behalf of the Liberian children.
Because in the end, this is delivering on the promise that children have a right to free, quality education everywhere in the world.
Tomorrow, you too can be teacher. You too can be the principal. You too can be the minister. And you too can be president.